All right, so yesterday we talked about SVDO and prep phrases. As a quick review to kind of hone in and situate ourselves again, what does S stand for? What does S stand for? Ariella? Subject, good, okay. And can someone put to words what a subject is? Like, how do you define a subject? It's okay if you look at your notes, you absolutely should. What is a subject? Olivia? Very good. It's the thing doing the action of the verb. Nice. All right. Another thing that we talked about yesterday is a V. What does V stand for? Verb. Good. Okay. And who can put words to what a verb is? Kearless.
An action word or state of being.
Good. Action word or a state of being. Nicely done. All right. DO stands for, Alonso? Direct object. And what is the function, or how do we define what a direct object is? Very good. All right, and last but certainly not least, prepositional phrases. What are prepositional phrases? It's a little bit longer of a definition. Jabari. Good. Okay, so again, it's a cluster of words, and it's usually going to have two parts, the preposition and the object of the preposition. Now, I realized yesterday that I kind of did you a slight disservice in not going over basic prepositions. Like, what are they? What do they look like? All right, because I don't know if you've actually seen it formally in an English grammar class. Okay, so what we're going to do to start is we're going to kind of lay down some groundwork on the English side of things, and then we're going to transition over to Latin. Does that make sense? Okay, next week, I think, part of our vocab list for next week, it's going to include a couple prepositions, okay, because they are actually pretty important. So let's start. All right, so we're going to start a little list. All right, now keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm not going to give you all of the English prepositions because there are actually quite a lot, like hundreds. I'll only give you like a good sample size, all right? Yes. Good? Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty decent. All right, and like I said, there's a lot of them. These are just a few, small sampling, so you can kind of get an idea of what they are in English. All right. I'll give you another couple seconds to catch up. And then another couple seconds to mustard. Get it? No. Das ist not my pass. Mine is yellow. It's giallo. Silly goose move. It's all right. Okay. Everybody still a couple writing? Okay. So now that you guys have this list of prepositions, I think it actually will be a little bit easier for you to recognize prepositional phrases. Because if I remember correctly, did you guys have some trouble distinguishing between direct objects and prepositional phrases yesterday? Okay, yeah, I sensed that. So let's do some English examples and then we'll kind of move over into the Latin side of things. All right, so I'm going to scroll. Yes? All right. Oh, sorry, we do want space to mark up, so make sure you skip lines. My mistake. Thank you, darling. All right. Okay, we're taking grammar notes now. You might have a little bit of catching up to do. Okay. All right, so this is our first sentence. Okay. The three Roman girls were walking from the forum to the bathhouse. Okay, again, the three Roman girls were walking from the forum to the bathhouse. Okay. So let's take a look. What is the first thing you should always look for in a sentence? What's the first thing you should look for? Always look for the Jabari? Careful. I mean, subject is important, but there's something, at least in Latin, that will help you even more than just the subject. The verb. Always go for the verb first. Okay, verb is super important. Because remember, you guys learned this last year, I'm pretty sure. The endings on Latin verbs will actually tell you who the subject is, kind of, so you know what to look for. Like, is your subject one person or more than one person? So you know, it gives you a lot of information. So, and we'll talk about how to practice doing that later on. All right, so in this example, which word, I'll say words here, are what's acting as my verb here? What? Not right now. We're in the middle of some important stuff. Careless. Walking, good. Okay, now just to be like a little more Latin-minded rather than English, in Latin, were walking is technically, it would be one word. So we're going to mark that unit kind of as the verb here. Now, if we were talking strictly English grammar, were is doing something else, but for Latin purposes, that's our verb. Okay. Now you have to ask yourselves, the subject is the thing or the person doing the walking. So who is doing the walking, Michelle? The Roman girls. Good. How many? The three. So we're going to kind of take this whole chunk right here and mark that as our subject. Okay. Now, we've got from the forum and to the bathhouse. Okay, forum and bathhouse are things, right? Or places, rather. So those are definitely nouns. But the question is, Are these direct objects or prepositional phrases? And how can you tell? How can you tell? What do you think? All right, first, what are they? What are they? Subhan. They are prep phrases. Very good. Okay, let's take that a little further. How do we know they're prep phrases? What do you see? Who's got it? What do you see, Michelle? You see the word from. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our preposition. And so that means then the form is our, what makes up the prep phrase? We've got the preposition and the, look at your definitions from yesterday. Look at your definition from yesterday. We got the preposition and the, Michelle? Almost, not direct object. Look at the definition, Olivia. Yeah, we've got our preposition and the object of the preposition. Okay, so those two things together make up the phrase. So we've got our preposition here, we've got our object of the preposition here, and together, that's our prep phrase. Okay, so we've got from, and how about to the bathhouse? To the bathhouse. It's a prep phrase. What word tells us that? To, exactly. Okay, so that's our preposition, and bathhouse is the object of the preposition, giving us our prepositional phrase. Okay. So far, so good? All right. Is it a little easier now that you kind of have like a list of prepositions to look for? Yeah. Okay. That's on me. Sorry, guys. All right. Sentence, I'll label these. Sentence number 2. Along the way, they spotted a black crow. Along the way, they spotted a black crow. Okay. Now remember, anytime you see a sentence, it's always good to find the verb first. So what's my verb here? All right. Kim, what do you think? Yeah, brilliant. You got it. Okay, so spotted, we're going to mark with our V. Okay, now we got to ask ourselves, who or what is doing the spotting? Who or what is doing the spotting? Caesar? They. Okay. So they in English is our subject. But let's put on our Latin caps for a moment. In Latin, is there a separate word for they? Do you think? There could be, but more often than not, where is the they hanging out? How do we know it's they? Where is the subject? Ariella? It's the what? Yeah, it's in the ending. Exactly right. Okay. Latin's actually super efficient, which is kind of nice. Okay, but for English purposes, that's our subject. All right. What is being spotted? What is being spotted? Justin. What is being spotted? What's my direct object? Yeah, what's the direct object here? All right, so you need to ask yourself, like, what is being spotted, right? So they are doing the spotting, and what is being spotted? The direct object, and that is, in this sentence example? What do you think? You got 2 guesses. It's either along the way or the black crow. What's being spotted? The black crow, yes. Good. All right, now, along the way, What is it? What is this grammatical unit, Ottilia? It's a prep phrase. What word tells us that we've got ourselves a prep phrase, Jabari? Along. Good. Okay, so we've got our preposition, and the way is our object of the preposition, and that gives us our phrase. All right. Feeling a little better about this? Yeah? Okay. Close your eyes for a moment. Trust, nothing will happen to you. On your hands, show me. Thumbs up. I totally get this. I think this makes sense. Thumbs in the middle. I kind of get it, but I still need some practice. Thumbs down. I have no idea what you've been talking about for the past 20 minutes. Okay, thumbs down, eyes up. All right. I think we'll do one more practice sentence, and then we will move on and jump into some Latin. Yay! No? Not exciting? Oh, so sad. Sentence number 3. The crow was doing a foul thing. Dun, dun, dun. We got ourselves a little story here. Escribe, no. Dude. Come on. All right, find the verb. Who's got it? Any ideas? I'm seeing the same hands over and over again. I would like to spread the wealth. Otherwise, I'll start cold calling, which I hate doing. Okay, Victor. Doing. Okay. And just to be a little annoying and more Latin-minded, I will say that like was doing would be kind of one word in Latin. So that will be our verb. All right. Who or what is doing the doing? Careless. The crow. Okay, so that's our subject. Now, a foul thing. We're going to take that as a unit. Is it a direct object or is it a prep phrase? Caesar, what do you think?
Is it a direct object?
Yeah. Why would you say that? Exactly. Yeah, we don't see any prepositional words or anything like that. So, yeah. But we're about to do the Latin. We're about to do the Latin. Okay. Any questions on this? So far, so good? Okay. Can you take out the 2 Roman girls reading? Okay, does everybody have a copy? If anybody needs a spare copy, I have. All right, looks like this. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to scooch behind you. Thank you. Okay. So now that you kind of understand subject, verb, direct object, let's apply what we know in English to some Latin. All right, now I had you guys translate this the other day. Yes? You remember that? Okay. So you've looked at these words before. What I'd like to do now is mark up the text based on what the words are. Okay, because when the sentences start to get a little more complicated, this practice of labeling is going to help you out in a big way. It's going to tell you kind of where to look and where to find the information. So we'll model this. We'll do a couple, like we'll do one sentence or maybe two together, and then you guys are in your groups going to work and try to finish this, to be honest. All right? So Eke, don't worry about marking that up. But in pictura est puella nomine Cornelia. All right. So let's take that first chunk. In pictura est puella. Find the verb. What's my verb? What's my verb, Cesar? Careful, careful. Action word, action word. It can be either action or state of being. Say again? We're ignoring that. Yeah, sorry. Eke doesn't count. Alonso. Est. Okay, so over est, you're going to mark up a V. All right, that's our state of being. Now, who is or what is? Kirlos. The girl, the puella. So that is our subject here. Now, in pictura. In pictura. What is that? Is it a direct object or a prep phrase? Alonso. It's a prep phrase. Good. What word tells us that? In. Very good. So we're going to circle in pictura. Okay. Don't worry about the word nomine. Okay, we're going to ignore that for a moment. Cornelia. Are Cornelia and Puella talking about the same person? Yes. So how would we mark up Cornelia? Still subject, yep. Okay. Raise your hand if you want to go through one more sentence together. Okay. All right, I think that's enough to do one more. All right, next sentence. Cornelia est puella romana. Let's just take that chunk. Where's my verb? Where's my verb? Est. Good, so we're going to mark that up with a V. Okay, and who is the subject of est? Jabari. Cornelia. Good. All right, now puella and romana, are they talking about Cornelia? Are those words referring to Cornelia? Okay, so how am I going to mark that up? Puella romana. Girlos. Careful, because think of it math-wise, right? Like if est is kind of like an equal sign, right? I can't say 2 plus 2 equals 7. That's like not copacetic. All right, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Right, so the values on each side of the equal sign are the same. So Latin is kind of like that. When you have the verb to be, it kind of acts like an equal sign. So Cornelia is your subject, est is your equal sign, which means puella romana, the values are going to be the same. So what is that same value? S equals S. S. Okay, these two things go together. Okay, don't worry about quai. We have to talk about that eventually. How about in Italia? What's that? Ariella? It is a prep phrase. Okay, so I always, if it's spanning over a line, I circle it like that. All right, and last but not least, habitat. What's that? Means lives. Careful, careful. Lives is an action word. So it's your verb, yep. Okay. All right. You guys feeling all right about this? I think in your tables, can you guys try and mark up this sentence for me? Okay, from etiam to habitat. All right, ask each other for help or work together. Okay, but always find the verb first. right, did we all finish? Okay. Who thinks they've got it? Talk me through. Talk me through it. Tell me how you marked it up. Any brave souls? All right, Victor, tell me.
Is the word habitat best?
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, so we got 2 verbs. All right, Michelle, what else? Very good. All right, what else? What else? Jabari. Okay, Wheela would be subject, and Wheela and Rustica are actually going together, so that's your subject right there. All right, one more. One more word, Cornelia. What am I going to do with that? Caesar. She is the subject. Good. Okay, we're not going to worry about ubi, and we're not going to worry about aistate right now. Okay? So ubi just, ubi's more of a connective. It's kind of like a conjunction. Now, really quick, I guess guidance tip for you. However many verbs there are, that's probably how many like separate clauses you can have, right? So that's why it's okay to have 2 subjects in one sentence, because they're like almost like 2 separate sentences, almost. All right. So study for the quiz tomorrow. Okay, that is your only homework. Study, 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 please.